Welcome. We're going to start by starting the truck. While I'm waiting though, I'm going to go ahead and do a level 1 and a level 2 inspection. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check my oil pressure gauge to make sure that it's in between 40 and 60 psi, which shows that oil is going to the vital parts of the engine. Then I'm going to check my water temperature gauge to make sure that it is gradually rising to 180, which shows that water is properly cooling the engine. I then want to check my voltmeter to make sure that it's in between 10.75 and 14.25, indicating that the alternator is properly charging the batteries. Then I'm going to go ahead and check both my air pressure gauges, and I want it to be gradually rising in between a safe operating range of 100 to 120 psi. Now that I'm done with my level 1 inspection, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move over here to my heater and defroster. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to my defroster and I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to fill up here. I want to make sure that I fill the air, showing that that's properly working. Then I'm going to move it to my feet, which is my heater, floor heater, and I'm going to fill for it to make sure that it is properly working. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to shut it back off, and then I'm going to move right here to my windshield wiper. I'm just going to lift that up until I see fluid, indicating that my windshield wipers are properly working. Then I'm going to check my city horn and my air horn. Both are properly working. Now that I'm done with my level 1 and my level 2 inspection, I'm going to wait until I'm at 120 psi. Now, you can assist it by hitting the gas a little bit, but you need to watch your RPMs. You do not want them to go above 15, because then you'll be over revving the engine. And you can see it is still allowing my air pressure gauges to fill at a decent rate. Now at this point, I'm just waiting to hear an audible psh sound come from the back. Once I hear that, we'll continue the video. Okay, I just heard my audible psh. Now what you want to do is you want to verify with your examiner that I am at 120 psi, and I can verify that by my audible psh in the back. I will now safely shut off my engine. So you're going to check your neutral, and then you're going to shut your engine off. Okay, now we're going to turn it back to the run position, and you want your ABS light to come on and come back off again, okay? Now, once that's done, we can safely start our air brake test. Okay, so we're going to push in our truck and our trailer brake valves, okay? Once they're both pushed in, we can start by asking the examiner to please time me for while I do my 1 minute hold to show that I do not lose more than 4 psi in 1 minute. They will let you know when you can begin, or they will say your time starts as soon as you're ready. As soon as you push down on your brake, they're going to start your time. You now have 1 minute. During this 1 minute, I'm going to go ahead and check my interior lights. I have my dome light, okay? You just want to click them both on and then shut them both off, indicating that they're properly working. You're going to go ahead and you're going to turn on your dashboard lights, showing that they're properly working. Once you're done with that, you're going to come over here and you're going to turn on your high beams, which you can see that they're working. Then you're going to turn on your left blinker and your right blinker, showing that they're both working. Then you're going to go ahead and turn on your hazards. Both are properly working. Then you're going to wait for your 1 minute to be up. Now for video purposes, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead and act like my 1 minute is up. So now that my 1 minute is up, I'm going to go ahead and let go. And I did not lose more than 4 psi in 1 minute. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to continue pumping until I get down to 60 psi to see that both my low air warning lights come on. Alright, I'm at 60 psi and you can see both my low air warning indicator lights are on and properly working. I will now continue pumping until I get down to 40 to 20 psi, at which both my brake valves will pop. Once again, do not touch your brake valves until you are done with your test. So now I'm going to continue pumping until they both pop. Now that both my brake valves have popped, I will say that both valves popped, indicating that they are both properly working. I will now safe start my truck. Once again, check your neutral, push your clutch in, and then safe start your truck. While we're waiting for the air pressure to build back up again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the inside inspection. We're going to start with your seat belt. So the first thing you want to do is you want to check your seat belt to make sure that it's properly mounted. Then you're going to put it on to make sure that it latches properly and that it's not frayed or cracked. Then you want to check your mirrors. You want to make sure that they're cleaned, not cracked, and adjusted to you. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to check your windshield. You want it to be clean, not cracked, not loose, missing, or damaged, free of obstructions, which will be on the dashboard itself, and illegal stickers, which is any stickers that is going to get in the way. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to come back here and you're going to check your windshield wipers again, but this time you're really just checking the blades. So my blades are not loose, missing, or damaged. They're not dry rotted or cracked, and my washer blade arms have proper tension. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to come down here, and if you open up the ashtray, you're going to see your extra fuses and light bulbs are in your ashtray. Then you're going to come down here and you're going to check to make sure that all 3 reflective triangles are there, not missing or damaged. Once you do that, you can properly assist once again. Don't go over 15 RPMs, and you can assist to make sure that your air pressure builds up a little bit faster. Now the audible beeping you hear, that is your low air warning signal still. It'll go off around 90 PSI, and so will both your lights. Now we're just waiting to hear the audible sound come from the back. Once that happens, we'll be able to re-verify. Once again, you want to re-verify with the examiner your air pressure. Okay, now that I heard the audible psh sound in the back, I'm going to re-verify my air pressure with the examiner. Now that my air pressure has been verified, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push in my clutch, and then I'm going to pull this all the way towards me and back so it is in first gear. Then I'm going to push in my truck valve so that my trailer valve is still popped out. That way it is still on. And then I will slowly release my clutch until I feel a tug. Now that I've felt that tug, I'm going to push it back in. I will then pull my parking brake and push in my emergency brake. Remember, truck, trailer. Now that that is in, I'm going to now do the exact same thing and release my foot off the clutch. This time I'm looking for my truck to lean a little bit. Once I feel that lean and I push it back in, you'll know you did it right because the truck will rock a little bit. Alright, truck rocked a little bit. So now I will go ahead and push in both brake valves, leaving my truck in gear the whole time. I will then pull forward at 5 miles an hour. You don't need to pull forward a lot, at least 2 to 5 feet though. So pull forward. I'm going 5 miles an hour. I will now push in my clutch and my brake to stop. I did not go left and I did not go right, indicating that both of my slack adjusters are adjusted properly. At this time, I am now going to put my truck back into neutral. I will then pull both my brake valves, and then I will shut off the truck. Now that that is done, I will look at the examiner and say I am now done with my air brake test and would like to continue with my pre-trip. At this time, if they let you continue with your pre-trip, you have successfully passed your air brake test for the state of Maryland.
Smoke,